Drew Brees was not very good last night. I have a rule with quarterbacks. Trust your eyes. Take the emotion out of it. Take down the pom-poms. Trust your eyes. Then look at the data. Said that a couple years ago. Mitch Trubisky made the playoffs. And I said, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. That's mostly coaching. What do we think now of Mitch Trubisky? I said it with Baker Mayfield. Maybe he's a franchise quarterback. He's not a number one pick. Look at him. I said it with Kyler Murray, second start. Oh, hell, that's special. Drew Brees, trust your eyes. Look at the data. He's old. He's declining. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. He was clearly the second best quarterback in the field. Derek Carr was carving up an excellent defense. Drew Brees struggled against an average defense. Old quarterbacks don't want to hear it. They get defensive. They get snippy. They've been American royalty. They're iconic. They make $30 million or more a year. And when the end is near, they get crusty. But the Raiders don't even have a great defense. They didn't have a sack. Drew Brees said, we're out of sync. Why? You've been there forever. So's the coach. It's mostly the same pieces without Michael Thomas. Raiders didn't have two of their best offensive linemen. They were fine. Again, Derek Carr was the better quarterback. He had a livelier arm. After the first quarter, he started throwing the ball down the field. He gave us a few arm angles. He was more mobile and athletic. He had more juice. He had more energy. And that was against the better defense. Trust your eyes. Wow. Brees is accurate. So is Kirk Cousins. Brees is excellent at the line of scrimmage. So is Kirk Cousins. Half of the Saints' completions to a team without a pass rush were to running backs. Trust your eyes. Then look at the data. The data tells you in a league with these hyper-athletic quarterbacks, Kyler and Russell and Aaron and Lamar and Mahomes, the Saints' ceiling is dink and dunk and dink and dunk. What about Michael Thomas? What about him? He's not really a rangy deep threat. He's just a great receiver, 17 yards and in, and he's great. It's okay. What is the standard for Drew Brees? What is the standard now for the Saints? They keep winning the division. That's not just the standard. Completing, accurate line of scrimmage, that's a lot of Kirk Cousins, and he doesn't get to Super Bowls. The league is changing. The business is changing. The rules are changing. It is benefiting mobile quarterbacks. Wide receivers have never been more valuable. Free touchdowns all over the league. And the Saints don't get any of them. So until further notice, I have two tiers of quarterbacks in the NFL. I've got the oh my God tier. That's Russell Wilson, Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. And then the special tier, and until further notice, Breeze out, Derek Carr in. Oh, by the way, Carson Wentz, you're on the clock. I'll give you 2 more weeks. That's officially what it is. Nothing personal. Trust your eyes. Put down the pom-poms. We have stuff we can see. The better quarterback last night, throwing with arm angles, livelier, letting her rip, a lot of velocity, throwing to tight ends, wide receivers, slot receivers, running backs against the better defense was absolutely Derek Carr. Derek Carr was a better quarterback. Well, Drew was on the road. There was no crowd. The Monday Night Football broadcasting guy, that was the closest 3 people were together. That was the crowd. I thought Derek Carr was a much better quarterback last night. All right. Let me shift to this. So there was a comment yesterday by a broadcaster at another network, a former Steeler, Ryan Clark, and said, Cam Newton's actually better for the Patriots than Tom Brady. Whoa. But his quote was specifically for young receivers. He said Jacoby Myers, Damiere Byrd, N'Keal Harry are better off with Cam Newton than Tom Brady could ever give these guys. That's not a knock on their careers. It's not in any way to negate Brady's greatness. They needed Cam Newton. This was a match made in heaven. Now, I will say this. Jacoby Myers and the other kid don't matter. I could care less. N'Keal Harry? Oh, no, Cam Newton's better for him. Cam Newton sees N'Keal Harry as a fresh, young, healthy, talented weapon. Tom Brady saw him last year as a guy that couldn't get to a spot because he didn't know the playbook well enough or he hadn't been in the system long enough. Tom Brady was frustrated with N'Keal Harry because Tom had been there forever and memorized the system, and N'Keal Harry was learning it. So that I agree with. Cam is great for N'Keal Harry. And by the way, the Patriots can't draft wide receivers. This cannot be a bust. This has to work. N'Keal Harry has to work. You can't pass to Julian Edelman 29 times a game. N'Keal Harry has to work. And I do think Cam is better for N'Keal Harry. But let me just give you the difference between Cam and Brady, because we're going to hear this a lot now. Because Cam's going to have some success, and Brady's going to have some success. Think about it this way. Here's my analogy. Tom Brady is the great conductor. And when you have the great orchestra, Welker, you had good running backs, Randy Moss, a young Gronk, Brady created the greatest music we've ever heard. Cam is a lead singer. Give him the mic. You don't even notice the drummer. The orchestra, the symphony becomes a little less crucial. I mean, in Cam's MVP year, ask yourself, do you remember who their number one, number two receivers were? Yeah, nobody does. Cam, when you have a garage band and marginal talent, like New England right now has, Cam's a great fit. Cam's a playmaker. Cam grabs that thing, and he is in the front of the stage, and he is just bellowing and a showstopper. He is the show. And this is a garage band. There's not much here. Now, Tom Brady has moved down to Tampa, and that is quite an orchestra. 7, 8, 9 weapons at his disposal. And Tampa last year had another conductor. His name was Jameis, and he would forget songs occasionally and lose the baton. Tampa is perfect for Brady. When you give him weapons, he is the great conductor. He gets everybody in the right spot. He plays to their strengths. He puts the ball in the right spot. He doesn't turn it over much. He takes just enough risks. Cam's always been more lead singer. It's not as much about the orchestra. And when you give Cam nothing to work with, he's better than Tom. I mean, Sunday, I don't believe Tom Brady could have gone to Seattle, gotten into a shootout with the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, who's playing virtual perfect football, and Tom Brady would have gotten them within one play and 3 yards of winning. No, I think Cam Newton, with this roster and this team and no deep threat and below average tight ends and the greatest offensive line coach left, and they had 8 guys opt out and free agents left, and they don't have a kicker they can totally trust, and they came with the play of beating maybe the first, second, or third best team in the league. This is about Cam. And N'Keal Harry can't be a bust, and he's better with Cam. But I think when New England was at least presenting Tom with some gifts, I think Tom's the best ever. There are times that Cam has had better talent than I think the media and fans would like to admit, and he hasn't always elevated those players. But these players, they got ceilings. Cam, on his best, doesn't. And so I think it's okay to just admit, Cam works for this New England group. And Tom will eventually work really well with that group in Tampa. And Tom wouldn't be quite as good with this group. I don't think he would. I don't think he would go to Seattle and get within a play of beating the Seahawks. Cam Newton was on Boston radio this morning, and he admits this is a really, really good fit for him on a multitude of levels. Cam's the artist. He's the rock star that right now in this moment, New England needs. It's working. It's fun. Oh, by the way, they host the Raiders next Sunday in what I think is going to be the most entertaining game of the weekend. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.